This is the BMW 5 Series and it's sold in India exclusively as a long wheelbase. It's gone soft to take on the likes of the E-Class and its comfort agenda. So what happens if you're a BMW fan and you want a 5 Series that drives really well? Well, today you have the option of this. This is the i5, an electric 5 Series, and it comes to India in one very potent variant, the M60. It's the most powerful version of the 5 Series on sale today, and it packs a solid punch. Welcome to Evo India and welcome to our review of the new BMW i5 M60. Before we go ahead though, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the Evo India channel and leave a comment down below. Let us know, would you prefer high performance electric machinery or medium performance ICE machinery? We'd love to know. Let's start by talking about styling, because I think styling is an important thing for the i5. This is how BMW intended the 5 Series to look. The long wheelbase 5 Series that we have in India has been stretched. This is what the designers intended, and I think it looks great. In terms of overall length, it's 105 mm shorter than the long wheelbase. The wheelbase itself is 110 mm shorter, but that makes it look so much more proportional. That rear door, it doesn't look so stretched, and even from the rear 3/4 section, it looks really good. Now, in terms of design elements across the car, this has a typical EV face. So you've got a solid kidney grille in here. It's illuminated as well, but you have the M badging on there signifying that this is the M60. Down below, you've got the aggressive M Sport bumpers, and this is a nice angry looking face. On the side, 20-inch wheels, nice sporty looking wheels, and behind them you've got red brake calipers. Again, very cool looking. Over at the rear, you've got a specific M diffuser and you've got the M60 badging, which looks really cool. I really like how the 5 Series looks, especially in its short wheelbase. It's a pity we don't get it on the ICE cars, but the fact that we get it at all in India, and that too in an M60 variant, is something to be happy about. Step inside the i5 and things are very familiar if you've been in a modern BMW. You've got this nice blue ring on it to signify that it's an electric model, but it also has the M on it to signify it's an M Sport model. Something that I like is that it has this marker at the 12 o'clock, so you know where your wheel is straight. And something that I really don't like is that it has only one paddle, the boost paddle. It's only on the left hand side, and it drives me nuts because there's no symmetry on the steering wheel. But apart from that, you've got a 12.3-inch instrument cluster behind you. Again, M specific graphics on there. You've got a large 14.9-inch infotainment screen. This is just as you would find in the regular 5 Series or the 7 Series or many other modern BMWs. Something else that's cool is this carbon fiber trim. You get it on the dash, you get a little bit on the doors, and I believe it's real carbon fiber and it does look very cool. You get sports seats in this variant, so you get these seats that hug you tightly, and the bolsters can actually be tweaked. So if you put it into the sports setting for the seats, the bolsters actually come out and hold you better. Apart from that, 655-watt Bowers & Wilkins audio system. You've got this large panoramic sunroof, and you've got crystal elements just like you do in the regular 5 Series. One thing that I don't like is that this car is spec'd with the white upholstery. I really don't think it suits the vibe of the car. This car looks really sinister with this all black paint on the outside, and you can get it with black seats on the inside, and that would be my choice. This white, it would have a tendency to stain in Indian conditions, and my suggestion would be to spec it with one of the darker colors. I'm going to keep the backseat review of the i5 very brief because I don't think anyone's buying an i5 to sit in the back seat. If you have to be here, you must know that space is adequate. You've got 4-zone climate control. Headroom is also plenty. You don't have the luxuries like the wireless phone charger and the soft pillows like you get in the 5 Series, but you do get adequate under-thigh support. The seat is angled upwards to make up for the high floor, but apart from that, you will be comfortable in here for short durations. What's more interesting about the i5 M60 is how it is to drive, so let's jump in there and get to the driving.
Now I'm in a free fall, with nothing to hold on to. Racing for the end, praying for the wind.
So get into the driver's seat of the BMW i5 and immediately you realize that this is a serious bit of kit. This is not a slow car. This thing is proper rocket ship fast. The thing about EVs is all EVs are fast, they're all quick. Even if you look at the Tiago EV, with respect to its segment, it is quick. But then this is genuinely supercar fast. In terms of sheer outputs, it's staggering. 593 bhp, almost 600 bhp. And in terms of torque, 795 Nm. And that can actually be switched up to 820 for a couple of seconds if you hit this boost button, which annoys the hell out of me. But it's good button, so hit it and you just go flying. It's unbelievably fast. 0 to 100 comes up in 3.8 seconds. Now, I don't know which generation of the M5 was slower than 3.8 seconds, but I can guarantee you it was not too long ago. This thing is properly fast. And then you've got your drive mode, so you can, I'm in comfort mode right now and it's ridiculous. You put it into, you go here, put it into sport, the seat tightens up around you, everything goes red in the cabin. It's that typical EV instantaneous performance. It's ridiculously addicting. I know I've alluded to this being sort of like an M5 in some way. In fact, an affordable one, because this only costs rupees 1.2 crores. And it is, because the performance is there, you know, it's really quick. The only thing is, and in the same breath, when I say the performance is there, is that I need to say that it's on some level slightly sterile at the same time. That acceleration is brutal. Off the line, it really thumps you in the head and sucks you back to the seat. Even at high speeds, even at 80, 90 kilometers an hour, if you floor it, you know, it throws you back. That is very much there. But it's a very seamless, constant acceleration. There's no rise and fall of torque curves. There's no running through the gears. There's no breaks in the torque so that it happens every couple of seconds, you're getting whiplash. All of that is not there. And of course, there is no sound. So on some level, that acceleration just doesn't feel as dramatic. Sure, off the line, it really hits you. But then after that, once you're doing 80, 90, and it's still climbing aggressively, the drama wears off because there's no noise, no vibrations, nothing accompanying it except a really rapid turn of speed. And that is the fallacy with all EVs, and it's just something we have to get used to, I guess. You do get noises. It's not like you don't get noises. You get these Hans Zimmer tuned sounds, which do sound pretty cool, and especially when you launch it, it gives a really loud, impactful sound and then goes into a whine which rises as you increase speed. But honestly, nothing replaces the sound of a nice sounding engine. There's no denying that. And no matter how genius a man Hans Zimmer is, he can't touch our souls in cars the way the sound of an engine does, honestly. Straight off the bat, I must say, ride quality, phenomenal. When I got into this car, I saw the specs. I thought this thing would be stiff, it would be firm, because at the end of the day, this has serious performance. That suspension needs to be able to deal with the lateral loads, with the pitch that you will be inducing when you slam onto the accelerator or slam onto the brakes. And I thought they'd firm it up, but it's really not that firm. It's pretty comfortable. You drive it over a regular rutted Indian road, I mean, just a basic kacha rasta, and the comfort that it delivers is really, really good. There is a slight firmness to it, not like uncomfortably so, but it's just, I mean, not going to be cosseting plush, but it rounds off bumps well. You don't feel the edges of bumps so much. I don't know what has gotten into BMW's engineers, but both the 5 Series and even this i5, they really do a damn good job of how they roll over our roads. I honestly thought I would be rattled to bits on a average or below average road, but this actually feels like a luxury sedan, something you can drive every day on the daily and still stay comfortable in. And I think that's one of the most impressive facets of this i5, the fact that it can deliver comfort with all of this performance. Out at high speeds, as expected, you know, it's super composed, super flat. You feel super confident behind the wheel. Over undulations, over bumps, you know, it just slams back down to the road. The body control is really nice, deals with our roads, something else. Now handling. Man, this thing can turn. There's a couple of things going for it. One is it has adaptive dampers, and apparently the valves in these dampers have infinite variability. So they can choose to set this car up for sporty driving, for gentler driving very quickly. And that shows in the corners. This thing just firms up, stiffens up, and it feels really intent. This thing also has rear wheel steering. So the way it reacts to your inputs is very direct. Rear wheel steering effectively artificially shortens the wheelbase, or if you're at high speeds, it lengthens the wheelbase to give you more stability. And you can feel that because just turning into a bend, the way it darts in is so willing, so quick. This thing is also all-wheel drive, so traction out of bends is never lacking. You can carry solid speed, and because this is an electric car, it's really smart with the way it puts down its power. The system is constantly monitoring which axle has more traction, which axle has less traction. It's constantly metering out juice basis where the traction is. The steering, it's a bit dead, it's a bit dull. I don't think these EPS systems have too much by way of feedback. It's just a little numb for me, but it feels very direct in that you can place the car with real precision. You know, you have a real confidence in the front end, you have a real confidence with how the steering will react to your inputs, and that allows you to carry some serious speeds into corners. It's not M-car stiff in that it'll break your back when you ride over roads, and because of that, when you handle also, it's not razor sharp. I wouldn't say it's razor sharp, but it's really, really impressive with how sharp it is and how nimble it is in the bends. Another thing that can aid handling, which this car doesn't have but you can spec onto the car, is active roll stability. So you can spec an active roll bar onto this that works in conjunction with a 48-volt electric system, and effectively it counteracts the sensations of roll. This car doesn't get it, so you feel that roll a little bit in the corners, but if you have the active roll bars, it will be flat. It'll corner completely flat, and I'm sure it'll just make this mechanical package a lot more impressive. The downside of that is active roll bars tend to make the handling feel very artificial, and this doesn't feel very artificial, so I don't know if I want to ruin it with active roll bars. But I don't know, ruining it, improving it, we won't know until we drive a car with active roll bars. But you can get that as an option if you want to. The thing about these M-badged models, they're not full-blown M cars, but they're nearly their M cars, and the way BMW engineers them is to make them everyday usable while being super special to drive at the same time. And I think the i5 delivers that. You know, the comfort levels, the ride quality, it's all top-notch. You can't complain with a car with so much performance, but at the same time, take it out to the bends, it really is fun to chuck around, throw around, and have a little bit of fun with. Honestly, I got into this review just confused about what this i5 M60 was all about, where it was going to sit, why it is even in India. Why would BMW choose to bring their top-end i5 model rather than an entry-level one in a market that's so sensitive to price? But it makes sense now. This car is a really, really impressive piece of machinery, and that price, 1.2 crores, it doesn't seem so bad anymore, honestly. If you think the 5 Series has gone soft and it has lost its bite, this is the solution. This i5 is basically a 5 Series with an electric drivetrain and genuine performance and sportiness. You can think of it as the M340i to the 5 Series range. I know the big difference is it is electric, but it does have serious performance, it does have serious everyday comfort, and it is also very sporty. At rupees 1.2 crores, it's not as expensive as what the full-blown M5 is going to be. It's a midway point between 5 Series and full-blown M5, and I think the package that it offers is really good. 1.2 crores for a 600 horsepower BMW? Electric or not, I'm sold.